What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. I am Jess. Thanks for clicking on today's video. We are in, I think, week 208 of my keto journey, my journey to rewind my health from a morbidly obese weight to a healthy weight, living a keto, low carb, and high protein lifestyle. Remember, I'm not a medical doctor, not a healthcare expert, not a healthcare professional. This is just what has worked for me. This is what I experienced, and you have to test these things out for you. So at the end of the day, you do you, talk to your own doctor. So anyways, let's hop into today's video. Okay, so it is week 208. The topic for this week is, I'm gonna make sense of this whole thing, but the topic is be consistently good over sporadically perfect. And that is kind of like, I came upon my 4-year keto, low carb, life-changing anniversary. For those of you that are new to this channel, I started my keto journey or my weight loss journey on February 11th, 2019. It is now February 13th, 2023, or in other words, 4 years later. Now, in this time and in this 4 years, I have learned so much. When I started this journey, I was 309 pounds. Absolutely miserable. Didn't really know me, despite living in this body for, all this time. I didn't know, like, I was so much, like, I guess you could say, I was a much weaker person, emotionally. Now that it has been 4 years, I'm so much stronger. I can identify things so much quicker about myself when I see things happening. I have learned to manage my anxiety, my stress, my emotions. I have learned what works and what doesn't work for me. I mean, over the past 4 years, I've done some deep soul-searching work. Put the time in. Granted, I did lose 130 pounds despite gaining 60 back. But at the same time, I'm still down 60 pounds from when I started, 4 years later. So while I'm not at my current goal weight, we've had a big roller coaster of a ride, I'm still 60 pounds smaller than when I started. So there's progress. It's not perfect. I am better and healthier than I was 4 years ago. I still feel like I have been consistently good over the past 4 years. And the times that I was sporadically perfect, I may have had more weight loss, faster results. Like that first year or so, I think I dropped, I have to look at the dates, but I think it was like 15 months in, I was down to 180 pounds. But I did it with a lot more extremes, a lot more determination. Like it was a roller coaster straight down. But I had weight loss, but I didn't learn everything I needed to know. So of course, pounds kept creeping back on. To sustain perfection was a lot more. It was easier for me to fail or have failures when it came to trying to keep that level of perfection. So it was a humble piece of pie that I got to learn, but overall that made me stronger to get to where I am today, with being able to talk about this. So I wanted to hone in the point that it is better to be consistently good. That's more sustainable than constantly perfect. Or just having bouts of perfection, with chaos everywhere else. But I didn't know that stuff going in. I didn't know how to, keep the journey going without crumbling and falling apart and going back to old ways. So that took having to learn and get in the trenches and find out what works for me. But I am stronger than I was 4 years ago. I'm healthier. It's kind of cool, and there's also merit in saying there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to weight loss. And unfortunately, there's no pill, there's no, solution, there's no fix, there's none of that stuff. It's so individual to each person, and it's not, and that's something that you can't sell. Like you can't make money off of telling somebody you need to figure it out and put that work in. So if I can stress anything over the past 4 years, it is get in there and see what works for you and do what works for you, even if it's not what everybody thinks you should be doing. But at the end of the day, it's your life, your journey, your habits. You know you best. You can be that one that gives you a lending hand that pulls you out of the hole, because you know you best. But there is always room to hear other people's support and guidance and solutions, and as long as they're meant in a healthy way. But ultimately, it's still up to you to fix this. So, but after 4 years, I'm proud of the fact that I inspire others. I share truth and honesty about my journey. I've showed so many pitfalls and spirals, to let you know that you're not alone. This will be the hardest thing you ever do. It's not easy to change your life, but if you chip away at it every day, you can be consistently good. So with all that said, this past weekend, it was the Super Bowl. I didn't host, but I went to a friend's house. And obviously in my friend circle, I'm like the only person besides my husband that eats a non-processed foods diet, healthy fats, protein, and, vegetables with some fruits. Like that's not normal amongst my friends, right? So I planned a treat day. Instead of saying cheat meal, I'm going to say treat, because treats are something you have sporadically. You don't have them every day. But I had planned this, once we figured out who was hosting and that kind of thing. So I knew that after all last week, I was going to have a treat day or a treat meal and have alcohol and live a little and enjoy myself. And this way, if I planned it, I wouldn't feel bad. I wouldn't feel like a failure. So I know a lot of people that are following me enjoyed a good time last night while watching the Super Bowl. A lot of people maybe stayed on track, and that's two thumbs up. Super proud of you guys. But there's going to be a lot of you that also enjoyed foods that aren't keto. And you know what? It's not the end of the world. I hopped on the scale this morning. It's no surprise I'm up 2 pounds, despite fasting all week. However, that doesn't mean I gained 2 pounds. It's probably the added sodium and all the stuff from chips and queso and, like poppers and stuff like that. So don't sweat it. Think of it this way. Your body's been in a caloric deficit probably since January 1st, right? So you're used to feeling, or trying to survive in a caloric deficit. Say you're down like 300 or 400 calories from where you're supposed to be. Well, when you have a day where you just have extra calories, well, despite feeling bloated today, I do feel bloated. I had alcohol, so I'm like, ugh, I didn't sleep well last night. When I drink alcohol, I don't sleep well. I never noticed that until I started this weight loss journey. But I'm saying, other than feeling a little bit like bleh today, but just from the food you eat, you have extra calories on board. It's not that I don't have any energy. So today was a great day to make sure I get that walk in. I go do some weightlifting. I move my body. I have excess glycogen. All my tanks in my body are filled up right now. Use those calories and put them to good use in your weight loss journey. So that's what I had planned, plus it gives your body a little like, oh, well, this is different, keeps it guessing. Where I'll say one treat day or treat meal is okay. It's when you don't turn it off and you can consistently start living in that treat meal way of life. So no. We have to make sure we snap out of it. And that means go to your rescue meals, also known as your tried and true keto recipes, the recipes that when you get back on it or you start again, what recipes did you always have that will get you into ketosis, will make you feel good and just keep you motivated again. So hit those rescue meals today, go for that walk, and don't sweat one day of eating. How many days has it been since January 1st? A lot. One day is not going to make or break you. So don't sweat it, breathe, and just move on. But today we get back on it. And my message to you is be consistently good, not sporadically perfect. So don't sweat the stuff that really doesn't matter, but make that effort to start back where you're supposed to be today, and you move on. You're not dwelling on your failures of yesterday, or you had whatever XYZ food, or you drank alcohol, or whatever it is. That's yesterday. Today's a new day, new day to make good choices and keep going. So the plan for this week, I did OMAD last week, and that means 1 meal a day. I only did it Monday and Tuesday. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. It was hard to eat what I need to eat macros wise in one meal because I was too full. Like there was no way I could eat what I needed to eat in one meal when you're eating salad. You know what I mean? It's like I could, if you had like fried chicken nuggets and French fries, you could hit your calorie goals really quick with a small amount of food because it's calorically dense. When you're eating salads or like chicken, or it's a little bit harder, and not to mention you feel fuller faster because it's real food. So I just was struggling trying to do that so after Tuesday, I just went back to keto. Not that I wasn't eating keto, you know what I mean? Like I didn't do any more fasting after Monday and Tuesday. I just went to normal feeding times, eating ketogenic, high protein, that kind of thing. So, and then on the weekend, on the Sunday, is when I plan to have the treat day. So overall, it was kind of a very inconsistent week on what I was doing, but it is what it is. So this week, I'm like, I'm all done with the OMAD. I didn't want to do that. When it comes to fasting, I want to either do no food, like a clear liquids fast, or intermittent fasting where I have like eating windows. But by doing OMAD or just having the 1 meal a day, it wasn't my cup of tea. So this week we're still going to do fasting, but this week is going to be 16-8 intermittent fasting. So in other words, I'm not having breakfast. I will begin eating at lunch, and I stop eating after dinner. So it's like a 6 to 8 hour window depending on the time when everything happens. But for me or my family, both my children are doing 2 sports each. So that means there's 4 activities per week, and you know what? It's going to be a lot easier to stay busy and stay focused than, so with all that said, it's easier to just have lunch and dinner, keep myself really busy, and the more busy that I am, the less trouble I can get into. Because when you're keeping your mind busy, you don't have that time to like, ooh, what's in the pantry kind of thing. So that's why I will eat in my eating window of lunch through dinner. That's all okay, and then I shut it down after dinner, and I'll repeat it the next day, and I'll resume eating at 12 the next day too. So in the Cliff Notes, what is 16-8 like intermittent fasting? It means you're basically skipping breakfast. Your first meal begins at noon. It shuts off after your dinner, and you repeat the next day. So, and another thing that I haven't done in a long time is tracking my macros. It's so tedious. It's so, I don't know why. I used to love tracking macros, and now I'm like, ugh. So I thought, well, what better time to track those macros, Jess? And it also lets you see how fast foods add up when you're trying to hit certain goals, and how it doesn't fast up when you're not eating calorically dense food like lettuce. So it's always good to take a break from it all and track those macros and see what you're eating, on paper. In a food diary, but I'm going to use like Carb Manager. MyFitnessPal is another one. They're all free. You can do everything you need to do on the free versions. So when it comes to what macros I'm going to eat, or what I'm setting my macros to, I'm going to select high protein keto. I'm a big fan of protein. It has been the savior of my weight loss journey. Eat your protein. So I'm going to do 5% of my calories will be from carbohydrates. 35% of my daily calories will be for protein, and 60% of my calories will come from fat. Everybody's macros will depend on your own age, height, weight, goals, that kind of thing. So, but that means my goal that I'm really going to be paying attention to most will be protein, which is I have to have 155 grams per day of protein. So basically all of my meals will be protein focused, snack will be protein focused, and we'll go from there. And I kid you not, 155 grams of protein is a lot to hit. I'm not doing a very I'm doing a very minimally processed lifestyle right now. So I'm trying not to supplement with bars or shakes. But that's a lot of protein. So that means when I'm having lunch, I'm having 8 or so ounces of a protein source, with a snack that's a protein source, with a dinner that's a very large protein source to reach those numbers. I may supplement with a shake depending where I'm at, but my goal is not to. Like, I don't want to lean on shakes and stuff to try to get the protein goals. I want to try and be more creative in how I put together my meal. So that's why tracking my macros and seeing how things add up and all of that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, my goal is the least processed foods as possible, you know, and you see all these bodybuilders and stuff that are hitting like 200 grams of protein a day. They can't do that without supplementing it with some type of a protein shake or bar. So that's the challenging part. So we're going to see, I'm going to dive deep into all that and see if I can do it without a protein shake or a protein bar. And I'm only eating, my window is only eating from like 12 to 6, you know, because I'm going to be fasting outside of that, those times. So it's going to be fun. I will definitely film what I'm doing this week and see if I can get to a consistent number without using any type of a supplement. And that's just because I want my calories coming from more pure, healthier sources. You can't control ingredients when it comes to a bar or shake, but in some cases, I don't know, we'll see. I may have to, I don't know. But I will film what I'm doing, this way you all can see and follow along. At the minimum, just sticking your macros to keto numbers will help a lot. 20% of your protein, 20% of your calories coming from protein is a lot easier to hit without any supplements than 35% of your calories coming from protein. Also, if it's a workout day, which is Monday through Friday, I do my workouts, my strength training. My calorie goals are going to be between 1,700 and 2,000. If I'm working out and I have a strenuous workout, I mean, I'll be in the upper end, but not more than 2,000. But if I'm having a day where I didn't get a workout in because whatever came up, I'll be in the 1,700 calorie range. So that all comes down to the schedule for me this week and all of that. So, but minimally, I'm going to be eating at least 1,700 calories per day. So I hope that all makes sense. Track your calories with me, track your macros, learn about what's in your food, and give it a try. So anyways, I am Jess. Thanks for clicking on today's video. I'll see you at the next one. Bye!
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat,